We get to the rugby, the Springboks and Sevens team. I'm joined now by in-house all things specialist as far as sports concerned. He's a winner of 2 awards. He's sitting right next to me. Jody Hendricks joins me, our in-house rugby, football, cricket, all things analyst. Jody, welcome to the show once again. It's always good having you here.
Yeah, always
Today
good
you
being
come
here.
bearing gifts. Before we even speak about the rugby, I mean, because you know how that's going. In fact, the Springboks, the sooner the season ends, the better. Past week, you were sitting somewhere in Johannesburg, awards evening. Take us through them. What happened?
Yeah, I was at another function before that around the corner, and that was my second function for the day. And I was surprised. I was nominated in 3 categories at the SAB Sports Media Awards, and I walked away with 2 prizes, both in the radio category, and there's 3 categories in the radio section, and another colleague of ours also walked away with another. So the SABC walked away with all the radio awards at the SAB Sports Awards.
I'm going to reach down and grab one of them, and I know that our director wants to have a quick look-see at what it is. I'm going to put it on the shot here. Hopefully our camera can get it properly. That's one of the awards. This one is for audio media of the award. Check us through it. I mean, what does it mean? I mean, you mentioned about categories.
That is Sports Presenter of the Year, so Radio Sports Presenter of the Year. So they were quite impressed, I think, with the quality of work that I've been putting out on RSG over the past year. I think it's just a culmination maybe of all the hard work that's gone into you, a journalist yourself. You know what you know, we grind to get stories, and I'm not the one who believes in awards. I believe in rewards, and I believe this is a reward for all the hard work that went into the year.
I'm going to bring up the other one. This one is for, which one's this one for? Let's see, take us through this one. Which one's this
That's the Radio Sports Producer of the Year, and that's just for the content that I had on my show. And there they mentioned the tribute I did to Muhammad Ali when he died, Alistair Coetzee's appointment as Springbok coach, some of the work I did at the Olympic Games, and that kind of stuff. Yeah,
I think a lot of people at home don't actually realize, I think because of the SABC with 11, 18 radio stations.
Yeah.
So the difficulty is that, where does one catch Jody Hendricks? But as you said, RSG, one of our Afrikaans radio stations. So if you do, people do listen to it. Jody, what time is the slot?
The sports show is at 5:45 Wednesday to Friday, and then every Saturday as well.
Oh, well. Jody, thank you very much. Now let's speak about what led you to win these awards.
Yeah.
We just saw 2 clips there. Sevens was announced. Neil Powell's got, he spoke about a 4-year plan. Yeah. Because he's surely now looking forward to the Olympic Games, especially after the bronze in Rio. A tight squad, a compact squad, no new big names, so to speak. In fact, there's no debutants. Yeah.
I think it's going to be a very difficult year for him, actually. But like you said, a very experienced squad. It's good to see Cecil, Afrika, and all those guys, Branco, Preez, Kyle Brown. Also a new challenge for Philip Snyman as captain. But I think, we've heard rumours that Werner Kok, he wants to maybe focus more on the 15-man game. They've lost De Jong, Hougaard, and Abana back to the 15s. And then also Kwagga Smith. I know that the Lions said that they'll only release him for, I think, 4 tournaments. Yeah. So after Dubai, there's probably just 3 left where we'll see him. And there's 7 tournaments in the whole season, or 9, I think. And so it's going to be a difficult season as it progresses. But it's a compact squad for the beginning of the season. Obviously, they want to get a good start in Dubai. And then I'm sure they'd want to come back and the following week defend their title successfully that they won in Cape Town last year.
I mean, you look at Neil now, he had his players through took these players through the charges before he announced the squad, which is announced today, Friday. We speak about succession plan. The thing for me is that in 4 years' time, 2020, the next Olympic Games, most of these players will not be playing. Do you think he's selling himself short? You'll stand a chance of actually saying, what happens now, 2 or a year before the Olympic Games? Or maybe the Olympics would be icing on the cake. For now, he wants to win a series event.
No, definitely. I think in the next year or 2, we are definitely going to see a lot of new faces in our Sevens team, guys that we probably haven't heard of before. But I think what he's doing now is he wants to build a foundation for those guys to come in when they're on a winning role, so to speak. You don't want to bring in new guys like the Springboks, for example, at the moment where you bring in new guys, they've lost 3 games in a row. He wants to build a foundation for the guys and bring them in and blood them in, because, like you said, Cecil, Afrika, quality guys like that, they are not going to be around in 4 years' time.
Anything to read much into as far as this year's concerned, as far as World Series? Dubai is always a good one for South Africa. Cape Town, we should back home we expect them to, and otherwise it becomes a nightmare. And that's what happens. It always falls short, 2-3 points behind whoever wins the end of the season.
Well, the big challenge is obviously going to be Fiji. They lost their coach, so it's going to be, and also the New Zealand Gordon Tietjens, he's not there anymore. So it's going to be, there's an opportunity to maybe catch up with the teams that they've lost out to last year. But Fiji, I think, is going to be the big challenge. If they can overcome Fiji, I think they should be tournament favourites. I know it's a bit early to talk, but Fiji was always the team that set the trend in the Sevens circuit, and if they can beat them, because like we said, they've been having a couple of problems now with coaches and so on. The Springboks and the Blitzbok, they've always been a factor. Like you said, they just always were a step behind.
What is it about? I mean, before we move into box rugby, what is it about sevens? I mean, we sit here and we scratch our heads. The Olympics, there was no reason why we should have lost that semi-final match, but somehow it happens. What is it about sevens that I think blows the mind? And
it takes 1 second and then you're out of the game. So if you give a player a gap of 1 second, I also think because I covered the Olympic Games and the sevens, I think in that specific game the BMT let the team down a bit, so that was a bit disappointing. But you need speed, you need the Ciabelos and Atlas, you need the Kyle Browns, the guys that can create something out of nothing, and also skills are very important. That's why we see a lot of 15 teams are so keen to get their hands on the sevens players because their skills, their skill levels are a notch, I would say, especially in South Africa and in Fiji, for example, the sevens do a lot better than the 15-man game, is why the players are doing so well.
Let's quickly move on to Springbok Rugby. Well, tomorrow comes the end of a season. Springbok coach, Alistair Coetzee, as well as the Springbok faithful, would like to forget very quickly. 4 losses, well, out of 12 matches Alistair's had so far. Tomorrow it comes to an end. The season done, dusted. Jeez, we're scratching our heads.
As a journalist and rugby-loving public, we want to put the season behind us. Probably the worst season we've had. And, it's a bit disappointing. I expected a lot from Alistair in the start of the season. I had an in-depth interview with him when he was appointed. He made a lot of promises. He spoke about giving form guys the opportunity. I think they fell out of the wayside a bit because there were some phenomenal youngsters who put up their hand. And he has this love affair with certain players that he stuck with game in and game out, and they didn't produce. And now the last game of the season, he's finally giving these youngsters an opportunity. And I would like to see them maybe, some of them played against the Barbarians, but give them a go against Italy and against England in the previous weeks.
Yeah, we're looking at. we're looking at the visuals now. These guys, the training session before they left for the India tour. We're thinking back a couple of days. In fact, yesterday, Quovis Visa, I saw he was quoted in the Sky News in the UK saying that Alistair was basically set up to fail. He got the job in April. In June, he starts preparing for championship rugby. So these results aren't surprising as far as it's concerned.
I actually had Quovis Visa on my show tonight. So yeah, I spoke about that, and he said he was quite blunt about it. He said Saru's partly to blame, but he also laid the blame at Alistair himself. He said Alistair didn't give the youngsters an opportunity, and also he didn't come with a clear game plan, and that's where a lot of our opponents exposed us, because the game plan didn't fit the players, or there was no game plan at all. And he was very critical. He said not all to blame. He didn't call for Alistair's head. He said, but in the future, maybe we should look at surrounding him with more experienced guys.
We're speaking about experienced guys. He walks into the top hot seat in as far as SA Rugby is concerned. You look at his support staff. You look at then compare that with England and Australia. You're sitting and you're saying, maybe we need to dig a bit deeper in our pockets as SA Rugby and get him the support he needs.
My thing has always been, if you look at international coaches, Italy, for example, their coaches from Ireland, a lot of teams are hiring international coaches, and South Africa should have done that 4 years ago when they appointed Heineke Meyer, because since then our rugby's really gone backwards, and it was exposed at the Rugby World Cup last year with a loss to Japan, and since then we know the downward spiral in 2016. Definitely Robbie Deans, he's available. He's just looking for a job, experienced coach. He's coached Australia. He won several Super Rugby championships with the Crusaders, so why not get a guy like that in? Maybe a John Plumtree who knows the South African rugby culture, a guy like that can only add value, because at the moment you're sitting with 2 backline coaches, 2 forward coaches. I'm not sure who the players know to listen to, and Alistair's not a very authoritative figure like Heineke Meyer, so he lets guys go on with it, and that is maybe also contributing to where we find South African rugby at the moment.
We've run out of time, 30 seconds. Looking at Alistair now, what does he take out of his first season, his first couple of months at the top job? You look at the guys on picture now, Beast, Patrick, are they still relevant, or should he, like he's done with the back line, 40 caps between the back line going to this match? I think the youngest back line caps was in 1994 prior to this. What does he do now? Give him these 3 years to say, I'm searching up And you look...
If they have a year next year like that, this year, I'm sure he'll be out of a job. It's all about results. You cannot experiment at test level. Give the youngsters, give the informed guys an opportunity and come with a clear game plan, Tabiso, because, you know, it's one thing to have the best players in the world, but if you don't have a game plan that's going to dominate, you're asking for trouble. So get a clear game plan and select the best players who's in form at the moment, and let's hold thumbs for the Springboks tomorrow against Wales.
Jody Hendricks, SABC senior sports winner, reporter, producer.
Yeah. And also good luck to you on Sunday. I know you're also up for an award at the South African Sports Awards.
Thank you very much, Jody. Much appreciated. Hopefully we make it 4-4 past the SABC News concert. We'll take a quick break right here on Sports in Prime. When you return, a couple more stories. The Grand Prix this weekend is going down to the wire. Will it be Rosberg? Will it be my man Lewis Hamilton? I'm objective, but take a break. Stay with us.